flying a drone?
Yeah.
So what's the purpose of flying it?
Recreation.
Sorry.
Recreation.
Recreation?
Yeah.
Alright, we just noticed it flying about.
Okay.
So what sort of size is it and weight and everything?
Okay, well that's your sergeant then, he seems to know what he's on about, doesn't he? Why don't you, if one of us had a radio, we could contact him.
I honestly don't understand.
Doesn't matter if you understand or not. It doesn't matter. If the world had to stop every time you didn't understand something, it might never get going again. It doesn't matter that you don't understand. We're both sort of, policy and law is the important thing here. Policy for you and law for me. And I know the law on drones. If you want to start getting information off me, you got to know the law as well.
Welcome to Operation Audit, where we shine a light on police misconduct and hold public officials accountable. Today's footage comes courtesy of Focus Pocus, one of the UK's standout auditors. Be sure to check out their channel through the link in the description and give them the support they deserve. If you enjoy content that highlights accountability and public rights, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss future videos. What begins as nothing more than a routine drone flight quickly escalates into an uncomfortable attempt to gather information, but the auditor remains composed throughout, points out the flaws in the approach, and ends up educating officials on the very policies they're supposed to understand. This encounter goes downhill surprisingly fast, so let's get right into it.
Hello there.
Hello.
You alright? Yeah, good.
Thank you. Just flying a drone?
Yeah.
So what's the purpose of flying it?
Recreation.
Sorry.
Recreation.
Recreation?
Yeah.
Alright, we just noticed it flying about, obviously.
Okay.
So what sort of size is it and weight and everything?
Why, what is this?
Huh? Oh, we can ask questions about any drones that have been flown around just to get the information.
Am I obliged to give you that information?
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, we're asking.
Okay, what's the power on that then?
So it's the air view. Schedule 9, air traffic management.
Which paragraph or section there? Schedule 9?
Huh?
Which paragraph? Because there's 8 paragraphs on it, isn't there?
Yeah, well, I'm not a drone expert. I'm not an air
Okay, well,
traffic.
it's just that if you want to ask me questions about it,
Yeah.
you're going to have to know what you're talking about.
Well, I can ask you some initial questions. I mean, I don't see why it's an issue anyway. I mean, if you just...
I don't see why it's an issue.
That's why I say, why not just
So why are you here?
discuss it? Just having a conversation, that's all.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
You're working, aren't you?
Huh?
You're working today, aren't you?
Yeah, but I'm having a conversation with you. Just find out about the drone, that's all.
Okay. No, I don't want to tell you. You told me that I was obliged to tell you, and that's wrong. That's actually inaccurate.
We can ask initial questions just to...
No, but I said, am I obliged to tell you? And you said yes.
Well, we're asking for you to account for your presence here using the drone, that's all.
Well, I don't have to.
Okay, we're flying it over the station.
Oh, is that the issue is?
Yeah, it was just quite close, because sometimes what we get is we get people flying drones like looking through windows, and obviously we've got sensitive information.
Okay.
So that's all
Well, what does that matter what the weight is then?
Huh?
Well, you said to me what weight is it?
Yeah, because...
Well, the heavy drones not look as well.
Sorry?
The heavy drones not capable of looking.
When it comes to... it's just whether it's got a camera on it and can record and that sort of thing.
Okay, well, you don't know that, do you?
That's what I'm asking you, that's all.
Okay, but you said I was obliged to tell you, and I'm not obliged to tell you.
Well, I can ask for initial information.
Yeah, but you said I was obliged to tell you.
Air traffic.
Am I obliged to tell you?
Okay.
It's not difficult. It's
not.
I'll tell you what my problem is.
Okay.
Is that at the moment I recognise that you're breaking a few policies, so I'm wondering whether you're bank coppers or not. Okay.
Well, we're not bank coppers, we're just asking.
Well, it just starts with dodgy policies. It starts with the fact that you're recording me and you haven't told me.
I was letting you fish. I was going to tell
Okay.
you.
Well, it says that...
My name's Tyler. Sorry, I will speak. My name's Tyler. I'm a police officer here.
Yeah.
Obviously, both of our body ones are recording.
Okay, but you should tell me before you start.
Okay.
You wasn't chasing me up the road, was you? So as soon as you start...
Okay.
But as soon as you start breaking policy, I then don't trust you.
Of course. So while we're here, obviously, our sergeant's just getting a little bit...
Well, tell your sergeant to come out then.
Yeah, no, I know. Obviously, they're getting a little bit itsy that.
I know, but they...
Drone.
Okay, what I find is either somebody to control us or the sergeant. Sergeant's probably as useless on the drone laws as...
Yeah, of course.
Without
I don't know
consulting
anything
with
about
you.
it, so I'd love to know more.
I know you don't have
tell
to know
me.
everything, but if you're using that power to get information off me, I want you to know it. And if you don't know it...
That moment summed up the entire interaction perfectly. After noticing a drone operating near the police station, the officer began asking questions about its specifications, weight, and why it was being flown, while giving the impression that the pilot was expected to provide answers. Instead of getting drawn into the conversation, the auditor calmly focused on a much more important point: what legal authority justified the questions in the first place? By doing that, he shifted the spotlight away from himself and onto the officer's understanding of her own powers. There was no raised voice, no emotional back and forth, just a steady request for a lawful basis. That approach proved effective because the moment it became clear the officer wasn't particularly knowledgeable about drone regulations, the confidence behind the questioning started to fade. The dynamic changed completely. Rather than a member of the public being pressured into explaining themselves, attention turned to whether the officials involved could properly justify their actions. It's a reminder that knowing your rights can completely alter the course of an encounter. When authority relies on assumptions but is met with someone who understands the limits of police powers, the conversation becomes very different. The key lesson here is simple: understand the rules, ask what power is being relied upon, and expect public officials to explain the legal foundation for what they're doing. What about you? Would you have answered those questions straight away, or would you have asked for the exact legal authority before saying anything further?
Get your sergeant on the radio if you want.
I'd rather have a conversation. I want you to tell me about drones, really.
I know, but it's not a conversation. It's a fishing exercise, isn't it?
Well,
You're effectively collecting information on me, aren't you? That's data for a kick-off. So you're collecting information on me.
Right, we can, as I said, we can require the information.
Okay, am I obliged to give it to you? You sure you want to go down this rabbit hole?
As long.
Am I obliged to give it you?
But what I don't understand is if you're...
You don't. It doesn't matter if you understand.
If you're just flying things around, so... But it's not clear what purpose...
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. No, Article 8 of the Human Rights isn't allowed. In fact, Article 1 of the first protocol means that I can do an activity without having a government entity bother me, and here you are bothering me.
We're not bothering you. We can require that under that act.
Okay, give me the paragraph then. You give me the paragraph and I'll give it to you.
I've just told you what act it is.
Yeah, but I want
If
specificity.
I knew every single schedule of every single...
I don't want you to know everyone. I just want you to know the one that looks like it's about to trample my rights. At least know that one.
We're not at all.
Okay, well, I've got all the time in the world. You tell me what it is.
All I want to make sure is like nothing's malicious going on here. As long
How
as
are you going to do
I'm
that?
happy to let you, not by just having a conversation.
I just want to make sure there's nothing malicious going on here.
No, I know. Of course.
Very suspicious when the police don't want you photographing what we pay for. What is the problem with that?
It's a beautiful station. It's the newest one. But I think it's just when people inside can see it, I think they just get twitching. As long as we just make sure.
That's okay. They're okay to get twitchy.
Yeah, of course. And you've been more than talkable to us, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you talking to me.
We've had a lot of criminal damage happening, and I'm not. So what I'm saying is that we have had quite a lot of damage to vehicles lately.
Yeah.
So obviously,
I'd phone the police.
Our CCTV.
No, of course.
So obviously, we have to keep an eye on what's going on. We've also got people that are harassing officers quite often.
Right.
But we are heightened to that at the moment around the station, the actual safety to staff and to vehicles.
But you know what? There's always a reason. There's always a reason. And what you can't do is if somebody's doing something lawfully, then bring a load of stuff that's happened in the past. Because what it doesn't do, if somebody broke into 100 cars there, it wouldn't affect my rights.
No, I know, but...
It would just mean that you would have to do policing better.
Yeah, 100%.
Wouldn't it?
I agree with you. I think it's just making sure, as my colleague said, we've had recent cars smashed, so we're not here saying you've done anything.
No.
Of course, you're more than welcome to fly your drone. You know the law, the drone law, so you can trust that. It's just making sure that, as long as we come say hi, make sure you're okay. There's nothing else going on, which you seem fine.
Okay.
Everything has been recorded.
Can I tell you the other issue as well? Is the fact that
go ahead.
it looks like you're elevating the importance of the vehicles around your site over everybody else's, because vehicles get broken into everywhere where I live.
Course,
every town in the country has vehicles broken
it's a big
into.
issue,
So it's not just about the proximity of your building. It's every building.
Oh no, 100%. I think it's just because it is a regular issue that's going on here, isn't it, in Devon? But I think because
The auditor wasn't interested in entertaining vague questions or taking part in a fishing expedition. Instead, he repeatedly brought the conversation back to a simple requirement: identify the exact legal authority being relied upon. What initially appeared to be routine questioning quickly became a test of knowledge, accountability, and the limits of official power. Throughout the encounter, he stayed focused on one key issue: specificity. While the officer seemed content to keep things broad and informal, the auditor consistently pressed for a clear legal basis. That level of discipline changed the direction of the interaction. The turning point came when the officer acknowledged that she wasn't an expert on drone legislation. From that moment, the confidence behind the questioning began to weaken, and the uncertainty became obvious for everyone watching. Encounters like this demonstrate what happens when assumptions are challenged by someone who has taken the time to understand the rules. Once vague authority is met with precise questions, the dynamic can change very quickly. Clear knowledge of the law acts as a safeguard, preventing casual inquiries from being mistaken for obligations. The takeaway is straightforward: understand the relevant rules, ask for the exact authority being used, and remain calm while expecting officials to justify their actions. Let us know what you think. If an officer simply referred to an act of parliament, would that be enough for you? Or would you want the specific section or provision before providing any details about your drone activity?
to be more regular just for us here ourselves. I know they've had issues along this site as well.
Yeah.
They're just a bit, they want to make sure our cars are safe, police cars are safe, because obviously we barely get stock as it is. It's literally just come say hi, make sure you're okay.
What did you say your name was? Tyler?
Tyler, yeah.
Is that your second name? BC Tyler?
No, Silsby.
Tyler Silsby,
Yes.
9332.
Nice
Okay. What's your name, please?
Yep.
9029.
Yeah.
And you don't want to give me your name?
Blundy.
Sorry?
Blundy.
Blundy?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that your first name?
Surname.
What's your first name?
Just PC.
Okay.
What was your name, sir?
I don't give my name.
Okay, that's
No.
I'm just asking.
If I worked for you, I would.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't, so I'm not going to give you my name.
No.
How are we getting on with that Schedule 9?
Gosh.
How are we getting on with it?
I'm not looking it up.
All right.
I've just got the drone advice, initial actions.
Okay.
I can require their identity details to confirm who they are, confirm that their flyer ID and operation is theirs.
Go on.
No,
So-
so we've just got a summary, that's what I'm saying.
All right, that's
The
no
initial
good then, a
action.
summary. You can't
So, what
summarise
is the
it.
make, model and serial number of the drone? Does it have a camera capable of recording? Does the pilot have an operator ID? Is it displayed on the drone? Does the pilot have a flyer ID? What category do they think they're flying in? Do they have any additional pilot qualifications?
They're nice badges, aren't they?
Look, sorry.
They're nice badges that you have on your arms.
Oh, what, the new one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're the new jackets that just came in. Yeah.
I was just making a comment while you're researching.
I'm not going
Just small talk.
to spend time researching.
Why not?
Because I don't have the time.
Okay, well that's your sergeant then, he
In the
seems to
centre.
know what he's on about, doesn't he? Why don't you, if one of us had a radio, we could contact him.
I honestly don't understand.
Doesn't matter if you understand or not. It doesn't matter. If the world had to stop every time you didn't understand something, it might never get going again. It doesn't matter that you don't understand. We're both sort of, policy and law is the important thing here. Policy for you and law for me. And I know the law on drones. If you want to start getting information off me, you got to know the law as well.
This part of the encounter shows exactly why understanding the law can make such a difference. The officer's approach became noticeably more relaxed, acknowledging that the auditor didn't appear to be causing any issues. But instead of pointing to the specific legislation being relied upon, she referred to a guidance document and broad summaries. The auditor didn't get sidetracked. He remained focused on the same question from start to finish. What was the exact legal provision that justified the request? While the conversation became more friendly in tone, he refused to let that distract from the central issue. That wasn't hostility, it was discipline. Rather than allowing the discussion to drift into casual conversation, he kept bringing it back to the legal authority being claimed. As soon as it became clear that the officer was relying more on guidance notes than a detailed understanding of the legislation itself, the dynamic began to change. The focus was no longer on the drone operator explaining himself. It was on whether the authority being exercised could actually be supported. Encounters like this highlight the difference between policy guidance and legal powers. Remaining calm, asking precise questions, and sticking to the facts can often reveal whether a request is backed by law or simply by assumption. The takeaway is simple: ask for clarity, stay respectful, and don't be afraid to request the specific authority being relied upon. So what do you think? Once the conversation became more relaxed and friendly, would you have continued chatting, or would you still have wanted the exact legal provision before discussing any details about the drone?
I'm sorry to say.
That's okay. I don't understand why.
It doesn't matter that you don't understand.
What I'm trying to say to you, if you're not doing anything suspicious, or
Okay.
anything, why not just have a conversation with us?
But that, you know, it's only
Doesn't
in
make sense.
Okay, it's only inexperienced officers to say that, because, you know, if you'd heard of like Stephen Kishko and Barry George and Sally Clark, Birmingham 6, the Guildford 4, you'd understand why that statement was probably said to them as well. I don't trust the police.
Okay, right. So
I
that's
trust
where we are.
Tyler, seems a nice guy. I don't trust you, even though he filmed me without telling me he was.
We have to let people know as soon as practicable. All right.
And it was
when
practicable when you walked up.
When it comes to any engagement with the public, we always put our body warns on.
How often do you tell them? Because I think that this is not the first time that you withheld that information. I suspect, I don't know you, but I'm willing to bet that every time you deal with somebody, you don't tell them that your
That's
camera's on.
absolutely wrong.
Is that wrong?
Yeah.
So every time you approach them, you tell them your
As
camera's
soon
on?
as I can, yeah.
Okay, well, could you have done that then?
Right, what you don't...
Could you have done that
What
then?
you don't appreciate is whatever else is going on at the same time.
What, like what?
Yeah, we've got other calls coming in. It's not always the first thing that I do try, but the main thing is that for your safety and mine, I'm always recording.
Yeah, but the first victim of that is my rights, isn't it? The first victim...
It's not
It is.
being a victim of your rights. You
It
have
is.
been informed. I mean, there's
Yeah.
not...
I have
not hiding it, there's a flashing light on it.
Do you know why there's a flashing light on it?
Yeah, so it's obvious that
No,
it's...
there's a flashing light on it because the Home Office says that there's a suite of measures that you have to conform to. One is the audibility of it. Two is a flashing light. Three is that you inform the victim, in my case, that you are filming. So what I want to know is that why would you adhere to two of them and yet the third one ignore? Because the third one is the most important. Informing me that you're filming me is important, not just because it's policy, but also because GDPR. You are a data handler.
Yes.
So this is why I don't trust you.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay,
Right,
so
well,
let's crack on, we'll get some work done.
Let's just not speak.
Unless you want to ask the sergeant
Yeah.
what the schedule 9 is.
Huh?
I'll hang around for 5 minutes if you
No,
want.
if you've got somewhere to be, then
I haven't. I'm going to finish my coffee,
yeah, okay, enjoy it.
get a few registrations.
Go and speak to- You've got a few registrations.
Yeah, just pick up a few registrations.
Right, okay.
The officer attempted to shift the conversation toward trust, suggesting it was simply an informal discussion, while defending the delayed notification about the body-worn camera and offering reassurance instead of clear answers. The auditor wasn't willing to let the issue be brushed aside. Rather than debating intentions or personalities, he focused entirely on procedure, transparency, and whether the proper process had been followed. That approach was deliberate. While the officer appeared to be encouraging trust and cooperation, the auditor repeatedly brought the conversation back to the same key questions surrounding notification, policy compliance, and how information was being collected and handled. By keeping the discussion factual and measured, he removed the emotional element and kept attention fixed on accountability. As a result, the spotlight shifted away from the citizen and onto whether the authority involved was meeting its own standards. Encounters like this demonstrate why understanding policies and asking clear questions matters. Transparency shouldn't depend on assumptions or goodwill alone. It should be supported by proper procedures and open communication. The lesson is straightforward: know your rights, ask for clarity, and expect transparency before being asked to cooperate. So let us know in the comments, would a flashing indicator on a body-worn camera be enough for you, or would you expect a clear verbal notification as soon as recording began? Drop your thoughts below. If you found this breakdown useful, make sure to hit the like button and share this video with friends and family so more people can understand how accountability works in real-world encounters. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more videos examining public interactions, official conduct, and the balance between authority and transparency. Your support helps us continue highlighting these important conversations, and your comments help keep the discussion alive. The more informed the public becomes, the harder it is for accountability to be ignored.